Okay guys, Turkey Day's coming up, so I thought I'd show you a really cool turkey headband. Let's get started. So here's the balloons you're going to need for the turkey headband. First you're going to need a brown bee body, solid color, no tip. You're going to need a black bee body. And then over here you're going to need a scrap of goldenrod 260. And then you're going to be using a scrap of white 260 for the eyes. And then a scrap of black, either 160 or 260. 160 works better, but if you have 260, that works just as fine. And then you're going to need a red 260. That will be for the gobbler. The black 260 for the brim of the turkey hat. And then you're going to need two brown 160s. I know I only have one here, so I'll get the second one and I'll show you what we're going to use that for. You can even use a scrap if you'd like. And then of course you're going to need the headband, but we won't need that till last. So here's step one for the turkey. We're going to make the head and the hat of the turkey first. So the first thing you're going to need is a brown bee body. Take that out of your little baggie and blow it up a little more than a hand's width. That should be good. And you're going to do a tulip twist, but before we do that, you're going to take your brown 160, one of them. You can use as a scrap if you want, if you have a scrap of any color really. And actually, you can use a scrap of any color. Take this through here, and you're going to push it through, including your scrap, and you're going to grab it when it comes over to this side. So you grab the knot of the balloon and the scrap, and then twist. Now you're going to get another little scrap of balloon. It doesn't really matter what kind of scrap. And some people say that this knot slips out sometimes, so I just wrap a scrap around it and tie it off so it doesn't come undone. Make it nice and tight. Next, we're going to do the hat. So get your black bee body, and you're going to inflate it a little less than we did for the head. You don't want the head and the hat to be the same size, because then it looks symmetrical and it looks kind of off and it looks funny. So inflate this one a little less than a hand's width. That's about good. Same thing we did for the head. Push this through, and then the knot right here, once you feel it over here, just pinch it off and twist it. So you can see the knot coming through. There we go. Now we're going to use the same scrap that we did right here. We're going to twist this into here, just like we did here. Sounds very vague. I'll show you. Very, very, very tight. I cannot tell you how tight that should be. Very, very tight. They should be, see, they're touching. One last thing I like to do is I like to tie the tips of the black and the brown 260 bee body together. Just as kind of a security thing. It makes me feel a little better. And then trim off the ends. Okay, now we got a lot of ugly stuff here, so we got to clean that up. And to do that, we're going to get our 260 black and make a brim for the hat. There we go. You're going to blow it up about halfway. If any of you watched my witch balloon broom cup candy cup DVD video before this, it's the same kind of brim that we did, except we're using a 260 this time, and instead of doing 2 loops, we're just going to do 1. Very, very, very tiny bubble. You're going to wrap it around that opening there and keep it kind of snug but not tight. And then you're going to do one more twist here, pinch twist it, and then twist them all together so they lock in place. Get rid of the rest. And there is the head and the hat of your turkey. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your scrap of white and you're going to make 2 very tight pinch twists so that they're tight together. I'll show you here. So about just enough for 2 pinch twists. You're going to do 1, and you see that shape right there it's making? It's like pulling in, kind of looks like a moon. That's the exact shape you want, because right here is where the black is going to sit, the pupil. Take this and this. Tight, tight, tight. And there's that. Now you're going to do the same thing for the black balloon, except for the pupils. If you're using a 260, only blow it up about as much as you would for a single pinch twist. And then divide that pinch twist in half so it's smaller. And then for the beak, for the 260, what you're going to do is you're going to blow it up about 3 or 4 fingers worth. And you're going to have one bubble that's about 1 finger, and the second bubble is going to be about 3 fingers. So divide it up about 1/3 and 2/3 so that one is larger than the other, smaller, bigger. And then by the magic of television, YouTube, whatever, it's already done. And then I just tied them together here. The black part, I tied the black part into the white part. And then I tied the beak into there. So this is going to get wrapped around those ugly parts that we covered up with the brim of the hat. So it's going to get wrapped in between the 2 bee bodies. And I'll show you that. And there you go. The eyes should rest nice and snug against the brim of the hat, and then everything just sits nice in place. Do a 360 for you. There you go. And you're probably wondering what this scrap is for. Well, this scrap, if you get a second brown 160, make a 7-petal flower out of it. Magic of television, YouTube, something. So make the 7-petal flower, and then you're going to take this scrap, pull the scrap really tight. Not too tight or it might pop out of the balloon, but just tight enough where it sits nice and snug. And then wrap it around a few times so it sits on there. Bring it back underneath, and now you have your completed turkey. take your headband, and I find it's best to leave it off center a little bit. Don't put it right on top, put it a little off center. And then you're just going to twist. You're going to take this and loop it around and make it pretty tight. Now you can take this, snap it. It disappears inside of the 7-petal flower. Do a little repositioning, and oh, I almost forgot the gobbler. I knew something was missing. Tiny little round bubble. Get your red 260. Now, if you want to speed this up, you don't have to do a gobbler, but it really adds a lot to it. A very loose pinch twist, so that way you still have the round shape. And you're going to trim off this part. So you have this. Section off about a good hand's width, maybe a little bit more. Maybe about that much. And you're going to take this part right here and twist this into, I keep trying to raise that up, raise this into the top of the beak. Twist it in. Maybe a little bit shorter. Maybe about a hand's width. There we go. About a hand's width. You can even twist that once around the 2 bee bodies. Trim off the excess, and everything's going to look jimble-jambled. So, whew. Okay, well, there is the turkey headband. Finally got that right. Sometimes it's hard to get the gobbler just right. Well, there you go. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you want more balloon how-to videos, product tutorials, and more. And also, if you like the video, like it. And if you have any questions, post them in the comments section below. I'd be happy to answer them for you. So, I'm Jeff the Magic Man, and I'll see you next time.